Welcome to my class. In continuation with Unit 7, we are doing forms of market, and in that I'm going to talk about perfect competition. And I'm going to define what is perfect competition. I'm going to tell you what are the features. So just have a look and see. This is what it is. So yes, perfect competition is defined as a market in which there are large number of firms that produce and sell similar products. Each individual firm sells the product at the market price. No single buyer or seller can affect the prevailing market price. And that is the reason only one price of the commodity prevails in the market. So we can take the definition of Leftwich, in which he says that perfect competition is a market in which there are many firms selling identical products with no firms large enough relative to the entire market to be able to influence market price. So in the forms of market, so what are we doing? Perfect market or perfect competition. And remember in the last class we talked about that there are different forms of market. Just have a look. So perfect market, imperfect market, that is perfect competition, imperfect competition, and in imperfect competition we have monopoly, monopolistic competition, and oligopoly. So right now we are going to do only perfect competition. So in this we are going to do the features. So we did talk about that we segregate the markets in the capitalist world on the basis of the degree of competition. So like for example, there is perfect competition, monopoly, monopolistic competition, oligopoly, the kind of products that they have, the kind of freedom to entry and exit, and all of that. So let's talk about the features now. The first features is very large number of buyers and sellers. Second is homogeneous or identical products. Third is freedom of entry and exit. Fourth is perfect knowledge of the market. Fifth is perfect mobility. And the sixth is absence of transport costs. That is, only cost of production is taken into consideration. No other costs are considered here. So here we go. Let me just explain each one of this to you. Let's take the first one. Very large number of buyers and sellers. So there are large number of buyers and sellers of the commodity. The number is so large that none of them can influence the prevailing market price. Now the word large number implies that the number of sellers is so large that a single seller's share in the total market supply of the product is very insignificant. Similarly, a single buyer's share in the total market demand is negligible. So very large number of buyers and sellers. That is the first feature. And every feature has an implication which we will do in the next class. But right now, to understand what it is, first try and understand that what is the feature. So in the feature, for perfect competition, there are very large number of buyers and sellers. Second feature is homogeneous or identical products. All firms sell homogeneous products. Products are identical in all respects like quality, color, size, weight, design, etc. in the eyes of their buyers. So in other words, they are perfect substitutes of one another. Buyers have no preference whatsoever for a particular seller's product. So purchase of the commodity is a matter of chance instead of a matter of choice. So you will pick up any commodity for that seller it will be by chance for that buyer. So that is it. So that is the beauty of homogeneous or identical products. Now third feature is freedom of entry and exit. So under perfect competition, there is no restriction on the entry of new firms in the industry or the exit of old firms from the industry which want to leave it. And I'm sure you know that all firms engaged in the production of one commodity, of a particular product or a commodity, is collectively called an industry. And so there are no artificial patent rights, etc., and no natural huge capital requirements or economies of scale and such barriers in the way of entry or exit of firms. So that is freedom of entry and exit. So we have what we've done: very large number of buyers and sellers, homogeneous products, and freedom of entry and exit. Somewhere in some class I will explain that when you take only these three features, it is known as pure competition. Okay, moving on. For another feature of perfect competition, we have perfect knowledge of market. The buyers and sellers of the products are fully informed about the market. Firms have complete and perfect knowledge about the product market and the input market. And so also buyers have perfect knowledge about the product market. Then the fifth point is, the fifth feature is what is perfect mobility. So goods and factors of production are perfectly mobile. This means that factors of production and goods are free to move from the parts of the market of lower prices to the parts of the market of higher prices and all of that. So wherever, however, wherever you want, you can go. That is known as perfect mobility. Now, then we talk about absence of transport cost or any other cost. So to ensure uniform price, it is assumed that the transport costs are zero. So location of different sellers in the market does not affect the price. No seller is close or far off to the group of buyers. So that means in this type of market, the production cost is the only cost. There are no other costs, such as we don't care about advertisement costs or transport costs, storage costs, insurance costs, etc. All these costs are assumed to be zero. A producer can sell his product at any place and a buyer can buy it from the place he likes. So this is what, so you know what, when all these conditions or all these features are satisfied, then it is perfect competition, and that's why it's called an imaginary situation. But this does not undermine the usefulness of this kind of market form. It is an ideal market situation, and it is based on this that we study it's a model to study the other market situation. You can understand the other market situations much better if you have some knowledge about perfect competition model.